Now, what's your first name?
Trevor.
Trevor? Trevor, I'm going to need you to take your shoes off.
Good.
All right. I don't often ask people to take the shoes off, but these have got quite a thick sole, a rubber sole, which is going to insulate. Rubber insulates, yeah? And
Can I take the socks as well?
you can if you wish, yeah, absolutely. So what has happened to your ankle? Or foot?
My ankle looks pretty normal. The left one has had a new joint put in. It's
Yeah,
full joint replacement.
yeah.
And what I've got is I've got chronic pain right down here into the
Right,
toes.
cool. So
And the ankle.
as he's talking, the surgeon just said we can fix, which is great, which is lovely. I mean, when they say we can fix, has it ever not worked? No. I get a bit nervous thinking, you've just said we can fix, I'm on camera. But yeah, they can always fix when they say we can fix. Sometimes I'll invite somebody out in the audience because I think they should receive a healing. Very, very occasionally it won't work, very occasionally. And it's that person isn't ready in their journey. It's not about do I deserve the healing or not, it's not about deserving, it's more about your mind and it's more about the bigger picture. If you've got a bad back and it's keeping you off work and the back is being a right royal at work and you're missing out on that, you might be off work with a bad back, but if you were there you'd get sacked. Yeah? Yeah, so sometimes things happen and it's for your highest good that you've got a condition. Okay, now what's happening for me is it's a partial feeling of numbness and then I've got this vibrating going on, which isn't how my hands normally feel. So what's happening for you? Is there any sensation in your ankle or your foot?
Yeah, the toes and the front of the foot are tingling.
They're tingling, that's brilliant. Now the tingling usually means that the spiritual energy has come in. Every cell in your body, for it to be healthy, it needs to do three things. It needs to take in the nutrients. Yeah, it needs to take in nutrients in the form of oxygen, water, food. Yeah, and it needs to get rid of waste matter, and it needs to be able to talk to the other cells. The purple powder that we give you as you come in the door, that accelerates that. Yeah, it goes directly into your cells, you don't need to digest it. It goes in, there's a passive, it's called passive diffusion. The stuff is so fine, as you take it in, it will go into your cells. And what it does when it's in your cells is it helps the mitochondria in your cells uplift the nutrition into your cells, so your cells can heal themselves. Usually, nearly every situation I work on, without you being in a car accident or you've tripped over and hurt something, it's a lack of energy in your cells. That's all it is. Backache, knee ache, cancer, it's a lack of energy in your cells. If we can get energy into your cells using healing, using the purple powder, using you exercising more or making better food choices, your body can get well. It has nothing whatsoever to do with any pharmaceutical drugs. Funny that. How many billion-dollar industry is it? And does it make? What can they cure? Nothing, not even the common cold. Do they cause you side effects? Yes. Hippocratic oath that all doctors sign says, first do no harm. How the hell did we ever get vaccines then? All right, well, it's going to be a little while yet before the truth about vaccines fully emerges, and when it does, whoa, some heads are going to roll. Now what's happening for you? Has it got more intense, that feeling?
A little.
Yeah, cool. So I'm able to talk to you guys, and the hand movements that you see, any sound that comes out of me, that's entirely done by the entities. And as much as possible, I will let you know which entity's talking, accrediting what they say to them, and differentiating as well when it's my experience this lifetime. Right now, they'd like you to just try walking on it. There are a lot of bones in the foot, and as much as we're working on the ankle, they need to make sure that energy's getting dispersed. Now, as you walk, how is that feeling? Cool. How much better? If it was percentage-wise, is it 20% better, 30% better?
It's about, I'll say about 20.
Yeah, awesome.
It's, I've got a little bit more movement in the front of my foot as well.
Awesome. So more movement as well in the front of the foot. Okay. And I sometimes repeat what people say just so that we pick it up on the camera. Right, now we're going to use sound. Sound is used a lot, and sound is it's going to be a big medicine of the future. Years ago I got told that one day we would have the technology to record sound, and that sound would be able to be used by nurses and doctors to heal. And when I was in the UK, very excited, a musician, top musician, Medwin Goodall, approached me and asked me to go into his studio for 3 days. We recorded 3 albums in 3 days. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. Love him, I adore him. He emailed me and to ask for healing for himself and his wife. And I wrote back, oh Medwin, I'm such a big fan. I've used his music for years to get myself into the right state as a medium. And he wrote back, and I'm a big fan of yours. Now what's happening is that doing that with my toes, so I'm just going to get you, if you can scrunch your toes up like mine are. That's it, just scrunch your toes up. They're just wanting to release something. That's it, and then you can release them again. Lovely. Clapping is a dispersal of energy. They're showing me it's a channel. It's a channel running down the front of the foot. That's where the pain is, because it's been blocked. They want you to walk around again. Your foot's lifting up more.
Yeah, it's certainly an improvement.
Cool.
You're right about the toes, because my toes don't bend properly.
No. Not looking too bad at the moment, though, are they?
Feeling a bit better.
Yeah, cool. Right, and another walk around. How's that feel?
It's feeling better, yes.
It is, isn't it?
Better. It's quite tight up in here.
Yeah,
Because this
cool.
has always been tight as well.
Cool. Yep, and have another sit down. So that painful line, has that line gone now?
That's exactly where it is. That's the main focus there,
Yeah.
but it's right across here and underneath.
Mm. Right. You'll see what they're doing with my foot now. They're not asking for you to do that, but as they're doing that, they're making something hurt in my foot to give me an idea, it helps compassion, of what it is we're releasing from you. Right, now try walking again. I'm curious to see if them giving me that pain's taken out of you.
It's a bit better.
I thought it might be.
It's got a bit better up here as well.
It has, eh? Isn't this good? So I'm not touching the body, it's not manipulation, it's not hypnosis. He's not a paid actor, are you? You're not, I am paid to Oh, that's good. Cool. Right. Now there's a bit more intricate work, so we've actually got to fix the ankle. Right. Now, sometimes we talk like this, because otherwise people behind this voice projection, you'll not hear me. So sometimes what will happen is I can be stood 10 feet away from the body and I'll be working on an ankle in front of me. Other times I've actually got to come in close, but look how far away my hands are. I thought I was going to be touching the ankle. I'm not. That's not what's required. A doctor would never ever look this far away from the body. They haven't even got the mechanisms to do this. They don't even recognise that the aura exists. Let's understand this. Let's look at this purely from a scientific point of view now. We know, the physical law of this universe, that we're in a world of cause and effect. The chair can't just fall over. Something's got to happen. It might be pushed over or knocked over, or somebody might pull the rug under it and cause it to topple. But the chair can't just fall over. Your bodies can't just get cancer. You can't just get Parkinson's or arthritis. There has to be a cause. And what your conventional medicine can't do is show you what the cause is. The reason they can't show you is the cause can't be seen. It can't be picked up on MRIs, it can't be picked up on ultrasound. that the cause is there, because if the phenomenon is there, the cause has to be there. It's a bit like you can't see your own soul. You've got a body, most of us would probably know what a dead body looks like and how different an alive body looks. There's something there, but we can't see it. And so when you have a disease of your physical body, look at the word dis-ease. Dis means not. Disadvantage is not an advantage. Dis-ease is not at ease. In some area of your life, or your emotions, or your mental state, you're not at ease. Dis-ease. And if we look at the part of the body that's affected, that will give us some clues as to what is the issue. Non-physical causes tend to be thoughts or feelings. Yeah, if you think what is the non-physical part of you, your physical part of you is your body, your non-physical part is the bit we can't see that has thoughts and feelings. And so it's your thoughts and feelings that cause the majority of disease. Now the Harvard Medical School know this. Years ago they published a paper saying 95% of all illnesses originate in the mind. But they didn't really understand what they were saying. They didn't mean people wanted to be sick. Sometimes people hear that phrase and say, well, I don't want to be sick, I'm not doing it to myself. Not consciously you're not, but unconsciously you are. And this is very, very important, other people can be making you sick. If you are in a hostile relationship or a hostile environment, you know, if you dreaded going to school, kids can make themselves sick. They can get an upset tummy or a headache because they don't want to go to school. And we're grown-ups and we're just the same, we're just like the kids. If you've got a tyrant of a boss, yeah, how many of you work in a workplace that when the workload is through the roof, other people go sick, making the workload even worse for you? Yeah? Yeah. We've got a lot to learn. We've got a lot to learn. In tribal days, if a child was sick, the child would go with the family, with siblings, with mum and dad, with the grandparents and say, we are sick. And I'm writing a book, my next book that I'm working on at the moment is called We Are Sick. Yeah? Because if we are sick, we need to heal ourselves. Yeah? Look at dementia. Yeah? Dementia arises when the person stops making decisions for themselves. We see it as they're unable to make decisions for themselves. The best way you can help somebody with dementia, early onset, is to get them making as much decisions for themselves as they can. What do? We put them in a nursing home, we take away all their... and they get worse. Yeah? Quality of life, there's a really good book. I forget the author's name, but it's called Being Mortal, and it's written by an oncologist. He's an American oncologist that realised that he was prescribing all this chemotherapy and radiotherapy not to improve people's quality of life, in fact to shorten them. And he realised that what determines your quality of life is the extent to which you get to choose. Yeah, your quality of life is determined not by how much money you've got, but how many choices you're in charge of. That makes sense? Yeah. Now, what's happening for you?
I've got quite a bit of tingling going on, not just like I would normally have.
Yeah.
Especially down in the front of the toes.
Yeah. Cool. Now that time they've taken out a little piece like that in the front. They just sort of peeled everything apart and pushed it up. Just see how that feels.
It feels better.
Cool.
There's still a lot of pins and needles and stress up in here.
Yeah. The pins and needles is energy moving through, and so you'll find that continues now to get better and better. We'll check in with you in the second half
Okay.
and see if that's
Excellent.
continued to work.
Thank you.
Give them a round of applause.